All right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I want to talk about as quickly and simply as possible. I want to talk about the abomination of desolation because I'm telling you, for me, for whatever reason, I am struggling with this to understand it, what it means. I've heard a variety of thoughts and opinions on it, and quite frankly, it just doesn't set right with me. So I want to throw this idea out at you and perhaps get your opinions and see if this holds water, if you will. Okay, so first of all, the abomination of desolation is mentioned in the book of Daniel. Okay, so you'll know that Jesus refers to it in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. So let's look at Daniel and sort of get an idea for what it is. All right, in Daniel 9, 11, and 12, it talks about the abomination of desolation. So in chapter 9, now this is what really drives me nuts. It's kind of a separate issue, but this drives me nuttier than, the abomination of desolation spoken of by Jesus when he refers to Daniel. Okay, so some people will say is that Daniel 9 is talking about the Antichrist. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. Okay, now I don't want to get into this. This is not what I'm wanting to talk about today, but this is talking about Jesus. It's not talking about the Antichrist, and Jesus is not the Antichrist, but let's move on. In Daniel 11, it says, an arm shall stand on his part. It's like agents, if you will, is how I look at it in modern terminology. An arm shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that makes desolate. And again in Daniel 12, and from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate set up, there shall be 290 days, and blessed is he that endures 1,335 days. Okay, so this is what's specifically what Jesus is pointing to. Okay, they shall place the abomination that makes desolate. All right, so Jesus caused, the sacrifice to end because he made himself the sacrifice. Okay, and so in context, if you will, uh, when it says they shall take away the daily sacrifice, um, I think the difference between 9 and 11 is, where's this at here? And he shall cause the sacrifice to cease, okay? That he versus in chapter 11, they shall pollute the sanctuary and shall take away. They shall take away. So there's a difference between he and they. All right, Jesus takes it away, but when it says they, it's talking about something else. All right, and so this is the idea I want to present, is that this abomination that makes desolate could very well be 1948 Israel. And I just want to throw this out at you, because if you think about what Israel stands for, it stands for the Jews who who are who reject Jesus Christ. Right? If they reject Jesus Christ, then they make their whole land desolate. All right. And it's an abomination because they are not God's holy people. We that believe in Jesus Christ are God's holy people. I might not have time to go into that, but here I want to look real quickly. This right here. I had it already, didn't I? Okay, so here is a commentary, and you can just pick any commentary at random. And I won't go word for word over this, but this guy here, he presents two views. One is that in the future tense that there's going to be an antichrist that's going to come, and it's going to be the last little bit, and it's a imaginary antichrist, and it's that false view, that false teaching that will never come to pass. And then he also makes reference to one that is commonly taught that the Abomination of Desolation happened in, what was it, 70 AD or whatever. And so that's not true either. So he's presenting two false views. And so I won't get into all that, but it's interesting because it seems so close to what I'm talking about here. So let's go to Matthew 24 and just kind of read it with the mindset, is this talking about 1948 Israel? All right, so I'm going to just start at verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be, and except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days shall be shortened. Okay. Now I know some people, they're just wrong, but they'll say the great tribulation is the wrath of God. And I won't get into that because I got 2 minutes left. So if we go to Mark 13, it talks about the same thing, right? But when you shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing where it ought not, then let them that be in Judea flee to the mountains. And don't, if you're on the housetop, don't go back down in the house, and so on and so forth. Pray your flight not be in winter. For in those days shall be affliction, such as was not from the beginning of the creation, which God created unto this time, neither shall be. So, did this event sort of spark this great tribulation period? And then one more time in Luke 21, the wording is different, which makes it interesting. Okay. And then it says, and when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And it's interesting because 1948 Israel was a result of World War II. And then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. So when it's talking about Judea and Jerusalem, it's talking about that specific area, which is 1948 Israel. And it's saying, get out of there, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. If this is not 1948 Israel, then what's it talking about? That's more my struggle is. What could this possibly be in reference to? And if it's not 1948 Israel, is 1948 Israel in the Bible? Because when it says that the nation of God shall be born in a day, it's talking about the death of Jesus when the Christians are born in a day.